Hi, Sabah. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. So Sabah, you've come nearly to the end of the 6-month program for your son. Do you want to tell us a bit about his age and what he was like before he started the program?
Yeah, so my boy was he was 4 when he started. He's 5 now. Before we started the program, he was very hyperactive, very difficult to manage outside of the home. He was due to start reception as we started the program, so we as parents were very nervous about would he fit in. We had been suggested, we'd been asked to send him to a specialist provision, which we did consider, and we just went with a mainstream school, but we were very, very worried if he was going to settle, if they would manage him, if he would be coping well in the school setting. And yeah, so that's where he was. And now, alhamdulillah, 5 months on, he is thriving in school. So he's doing really, really well.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you were part of my September group program. So I remember your little boy, he was 4. Okay, your little boy who was 4.5 at the time, he had his first week of school. And do you want to describe what the feedback you got from your school in the first week? So what did they say at the end of the week?
Yeah, so they were getting to know him. He didn't spend any time in the classroom. He was still quite hyperactive, no focus, nothing for lunch, did not touch anything in the canteen, in the dinner hall. He didn't spend any time in the canteen. He never been to an assembly, never sat in the classroom. I couldn't even imagine him sitting in a chair. So I don't think he was doing very well. He was always outside the classroom and somebody was with him in the rainbow room or in the sensory room, just away from everybody. No friends, not part of any group.
That must have been really hard at the time.
It was, because we were considering, well, we were always wondering, is this the right place for him? Is this the right school for him? Is he ever going to be okay in this kind of a setting? Should we just accept that he doesn't enjoy being in groups, and maybe a specialist provision would have been better, where he would have been able to display some of his skills? He's a very bright boy. Was that ever going to get picked up in a mainstream school? So these are all things that we were really worried about.
I actually remember because you started on my September program. So at the end of the first week of year R, you were like, he had a chaotic, crazy week, and you don't know if this is going to be the right place for him. And you and your husband were just like, should we, like, is this going to work? But then and I was like, and I told you at the time, you've just started the 6-month program, give it 1 term, and I'm sure things will change. And then tell me now what happened at the end of, so by Christmas term, by the end of what term, what feedback did you get from the school?
So we sent him back after Christmas, having done some of the detoxes off your program, and the words of the teacher was, "Is this the same child?" A completely different child. So that was really nice for us to hear.
I actually remember as well. So how quickly did you start seeing changes? So you joined in September. How quickly did you start seeing changes for your son?
So by the 4 weeks, 4 weeks had passed. So we'd changed his diet, we'd implemented so many changes, and by 4 weeks we started to see that he was just settling in better, and he was so much more manageable, and his understanding got so much better.
Oh, that's so good. So I remember what was one of the things that you were most worried about, like his understanding and how he didn't really play with his brother that much.
Yeah.
So when did you start noticing that he was playing with his brother and that he became conversational with you?
So it was probably closer to Christmas time, and I did send you a message to say that they're talking to each other, they're interacting with each other, which is something we thought would come with his age, with like as he ages. We were told to wait till he's about 7 or 8 and he'll catch up, and those are the changes that you see in a child at that age, and we weren't expecting any of that by the time he was 5. But yeah, so they're playing together, they're talking to each other, they're enjoying each other's company, which is really nice for both of them to have each other. They're understanding each other so much better, and they're wanting to interact with each other.
I also remember you saying that he is now helping his little brother get ready for school, something you never thought would happen at all?
Yeah, it's something I thought was, yeah, we were never going to get to that point. I thought that it was so far away in the future, but alhamdulillah, he has been helping. So I ask him to get the school book bags ready so he'll know, and he'll go get them and he'll put them where they need to go. He'll get his lunchbox. He'll, get all the jackets and the coats for everybody to get ready for school. And he's so excited about going to school. We were nervous about how he was going to be with school, but he loves school and we love that for him. It was a different story when he was at nursery. It was a bit of a battle to get him in, but now he loves it. He absolutely loves going to school every day.
And he's just, I think it's because he's a lot calmer now. It's like his nervous system is a lot calmer, that he can enjoy things. Like he doesn't have that sensory overwhelm that he wants to run out of the class anymore. He's just more relaxed. Is that what you feel as well?
Yeah, 100%. So he's definitely a lot more focused. Again, with the program, it's just really brought him to focus a lot more. So he's playing with Lego, which is another thing that we didn't think he was ready for. He's also writing. I've shown you videos of him writing, which again, he wasn't even able to hold a pen when we started the program, and now he is tracing numbers and letters. And it's really nice to be able to unlock that for him, because he's got so much potential. Once he learns to write, he can put it all down on paper. And we're just really glad to be here where we are now.
Also, I think another thing that really helped, that is a big change for him, is his focus. So at the beginning, where he was so hyperactive, you were basically kind of running yourself ragged around him.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying you attended family weddings, but you didn't really enjoy the family weddings because you were just running after him.
Yeah.
And it kind of put you off taking him places.
Yes.
Now, how do you feel about taking him places?
A lot more confident. And I know that he would enjoy being out at these events as well. He's so much less, he doesn't elope so much anymore. He likes to sit with me. He likes to take in the surroundings, whereas before he was probably a little bit more anxious.
Yeah.
So it's definitely getting easier to take him places, to take him out.
And he's enjoying it as well.
And he's enjoying it, yes.
And you get to enjoy yourself as well now.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so when you talk about like some of the changes we've done together on the program, how did you find it? Like, I feel some people feel like it's going to be too overwhelming for them. How did you find doing the changes and me guiding you through it?
So I was nervous. I did think, is it going to be a big impact, or is it going to just blend into our lives? And we did ask you the question, and you did assure us that people don't notice that they've made the change. And I can 100% agree with that all the changes that we've made, the shopping that we're buying, the products that we're picking up now, what's in my kitchen cupboards, all those changes, it just doesn't feel like we just stopped and started something brand new. We've just integrated and changed and moved somewhere. And I'm just so much more confident picking up an item off the shelves now, knowing what is the ingredients, what I'm looking for, what is good and what is rather that we should just avoid. So it didn't feel like a big impactful change. It just felt like we just blended into a new way of life.
Awesome. And this program is 100% remote. So a lot of people say, oh, am I going to see their child, or like, am I going to go visit them? You've got a really great result, something that you never thought you'd be able to achieve for your son so quickly. But the teachers also are asking, is this the same boy? How did you find working with me, even though it was 100% remote? Because I'm in Hampshire and you're in Manchester. So how did you find that?
So it never felt like there was a distance. I think you know my boy very well, because I've been sharing videos of any achievement he's made, anything that he's doing that's new. I'll send you videos of that, so you get to see the progress all the time. I've picked up the phone to you about a product that I might want to buy from the supermarket, or I've picked up the phone with you about how I'm feeling that day, about a certain scenario that might have happened, a behavior issue, even my child's health, when it's a little bit low. I've spoken to you about what that could be, and you've been right there. I've never had to wait a day, so you've gotten back to me within hours.
That's so good. That's what I aim to do, so that to basically help parents make these changes at home. And make their like help autistic children become more confident, conversational, and calmer. So do you think that's helped, that you've done that with your son?
Yes, alhamdulillah. So he's so much more calmer. He's so much more confident. One of my goals when I started this was I wanted him to be conversational.
Yeah.
Again, I thought that was very ambitious at that time. But alhamdulillah, we are talking. He is sharing what he does and doesn't want. He's talking about the day. He's able to tell me about school. Certain scenarios or snippets of school that I'm getting to hear from him, which I didn't think I'd be able to do till he's much older. So we've achieved so much in a short period of time.
So I think within about 4.5 months, you got these massive dramatic changes, and within about 3.5 months, he became conversational. Because I remember you sending me a video of him describing his day at school, and you said, I never thought I'd be able to hear this level of detail.
Yeah.
So that was such a nice moment.
Yes, it really was. It was nice to hear it from his perspective, rather than me telling him. Another thing is that his speech up to now before the program was just repeating what he's heard from me. Now he's thinking up of sentences himself, which are very relevant. He's really trying to put sentences together and try to describe something to me or to tell me something, which are all his own words. So it's really nice to see that it's not something that I've told him and he's repeating back to me in a different way. He's learning how to communicate with me.
So it's no more echolalia, more functional language, that he's making his own sentences and he's conversational.
100%. That's what I'm trying to describe. So it's definitely more conversational.
So before doing the program, I don't think you'd never heard of the 7-step autism action plan, or that you could even help your child in this way, really overcome their autism symptoms in such a short period of time to have a calmer, more conversational, more confident child. So did you have, I know previously you'd tried to help your son with an EHCP plan and, going to the NHS and getting a diagnosis and all of that. Did you have any hesitations about thinking, like, is this even true? Like, did you or your partner have any hesitations about doing it? Because, like, what were your thoughts, and why did you decide to do it in the end anyway?
So after going onto your webinar, everything you said we were quite familiar with, so it resonated with us. So we were familiar with a lot of the ideology of it, but there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of conflicting information too. So because when we signed up with you, we just literally did what you advised, because you've done all the research for what works and what doesn't. And I can hand on heart say we've never felt let down with your level of experience or knowledge with any matter that we've ever come to you with.
Thanks so
So
much.
you've been able to really find the right information and send that right back to us, and it resonates with us and it sits well with us. So when we did sign on, well, I came onto the webinar and I had no doubts that this is something that I'm definitely going to do. I had to do it. If it wasn't going to achieve anything for Idris, for my child's development, it was definitely going to be a step in the right direction. And it's been more than that for us. It's been life-changing for our child, for all of us as a family.
So it's really superseded your expectations.
100%, it has. And I think it was even a month into the program where we thought we've already feel like it was worth it for us. And that was just the changes, that the new information that we had now with us, about products, about what we're looking for in certain multivitamins, what kind of what things to go for and what things to stay away from. It was already worth it. And I'm able to share that knowledge now with my family.
Yeah, good.
And tell them what to stay away from, what kind of works better.
Did your partner have any hesitations about the program? And because I remember he didn't attend the webinar, and I actually have a very common scenario that happens where the mums want to do the program and the dads are really hesitant. So was that similar for you, and how did you overcome it if it was?
So for my partner, my husband was worried that all of the changes would have to be made by me, because he's not always here. So it would have been my role to make the changes happen. And he was more concerned about would I be able to take that on. And alhamdulillah, I have been able to. And so any concerns he had was not if the course was right. It was more if I would be able to manage the changes and implementing the new foods into my child's diet, that kind of thing. And we've achieved so much. We've achieved all of that. So there's absolutely no reason why he's not happy with the course. Like, he's really happy that we've gone on to it.
Whenever because I've mostly just, I think 95% of the time just worked with you. And the 5% time I speak to your husband, he's so happy.
Yes.
So happy. It's really nice that I've seen that, because I spoke to him on our consultation call, to just months later, he's so happy, which is so nice that it's had such a big impact on your whole family.
Yes. Yeah, he is really happy. And
has there been any unexpected benefits to doing a program? Something you didn't expect, like for the whole family or for yourself?
I think mainly the shopping, what we store in our cupboards and how we prepare our food. We felt like we were doing it quite rightly, and we felt like we were already doing something the best that we can. And then after speaking to you, we've just added loads more to make it even better.
Yeah.
So that was unexpected, but it's such a huge benefit. It definitely makes me feel a lot more confident preparing food for the children, about what they're eating, what they're consuming, and the better mixes of foods, what you suggest. So you helped me with my child's lunchbox. So we tried quite a few different things before we got to what he does eat. And it's such a huge achievement that he's having his lunch every single day, which for me means that I can push dinner further now. Whereas before, when he was coming back from school, because he hadn't had a lunch, dinner would be so much earlier. So it's changed our routine now, because he's eating a good lunch at school. That means I can move dinner to a little bit closer to bedtime, and it's really helpful.
That's good. And how much more confident now do you feel about his future?
Alhamdulillah, so much more confident. We did have a little bit of a deadline where we wanted to move abroad, and so we shared that with you, and we wanted him to achieve before we moved abroad, and we feel like he already has, and there's we don't have any issues about him being able to fit in to a school abroad, because everybody, it's an international school, it's going to be different, and our concerns were there, and they're not there anymore, and that isn't even until later on this year. So we've got plenty of time for more development. And I'm not concerned about his schooling anymore, which was a huge concern for me. I was always worried if he would ever excel in a classroom setting, also in a mainstream school, and he's shown that he's so capable and so happy to do that. His teachers have recognized how bright he is and his strengths. They've picked up on what his strengths are, like his reading. So we're so much more confident now about his future, that he's going to be able to display his skills.
And that makes you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more relaxed now?
100%, yeah. 100% feeling relaxed about his future.
This was a group program, so there were other parents in the group who've seen a really big noticeable difference, but they haven't been as comfortable with doing a video testimonial. So can you just verify if there have been other parents on the program who've also seen really big improvements of their children?
Yeah, so I think everybody on our group saw huge improvements with their child. There was one child in the group who was hyperactive, who's so much calmer now. He's sleeping through the night, which was a big issue for his parents. He was vocally stimming quite a lot throughout the day, so that's completely gone down as well. And another parent whose daughter had a huge sensory issues and was not very conversational, so she's completely changed to a new child now. There's been other parents on the course which agree with the development that their child has made.
That's amazing. Was this worth every penny? Was it worth the investment?
So it was a conversation that we had at home, but we have never missed what we did spend. We felt like the minute we invested in our family, it's come back tenfold. So we've never felt like it was not worth it. And in fact, we talk about it all the time, that that was so worth the money. And that was before we even seen huge amounts of improvement or the complete transformation with our child. That was much, much earlier on. We felt like it was definitely worth it before we'd even seen any of that.
So everything, I remember you saying every penny you spend on your child, it comes back tenfold?
Yes, 100%, 100%. So we've invested in his future, we've invested in his health, and we felt like that's really come back for us.
And all the opportunities that he now has available?
100%, 100%.
And conversational and calmer?
Yeah, so one of the big things for us was putting him into sports, and we tried it quite a few times, and he just didn't take on the instructions. He was too hyperactive to stop, listen, and focus. And now in school, he's doing so well in PE, and it's exactly what we wanted for him. And we're looking to set him up for football or mixed martial arts again and try it again. And we know that he's going to do so much better now than he ever did before.
So also, with boys as well, that sets them up for loads of friendships for life if they can play football, if they can take part in martial arts. So you really have opened so many doors for him just by investing in him and joining the program.
Yes, we have. Alhamdulillah, that's how we feel.
And would you recommend this program for other parents?
100%. I would recommend it to any parent that wants to do better for their child, who wants to unlock their potential. As a mum, you know what your child is capable of and what their potential is. I just wanted to know what the key was to unlock that, and I've got that now with all the information that you've shared with me. And I do recommend it for all mums generally, and then a mother of an autistic child 100%.
And you haven't got the same level of support on from the NHS or speech and language therapy or EHCP. Had you seen the same level of progress in a short space of time with that or with this?
So with anything on the NHS, I was a very on it mum. So I made sure I got him the EHCP in time for him to start primary school. I was very persistent with making sure he's got his speech and language sessions. I was looking into behavioural therapy. I was looking into occupational therapy. So as a mum, and with all the information that I had accessible to me after I got him diagnosed, I chased it all up and I tried to get access to all of those things. However, with all of that, so if I was going to speech and language therapy, anything that they would suggest to me, I realised we were already doing that at home. And also the speech and language therapy was so far apart that there was just not enough of it. And also I didn't feel like there was any benefit from going. It was just an exercise that I needed to do to make sure I'm doing the utmost for my child, just in case there was something that I hadn't picked up on. I know that the speech language therapist comes to school now, but with all the therapy that he's ever had, he's never made this much progress as he has had after he's had his gut detox, which is when he's been a completely different child. He's conversational, he's more focused. That is what was needed rather than the therapies. I'm happy for the therapies to continue, but I feel like it's just an exercise. It's almost like a tick box exercise. It's absolutely, for us, unfortunately, we've not seen much of an improvement with any of those sessions
compared to this program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with your son, and I am so happy with the transformation he's had, and you've been literally a pleasure to work with.
Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the information that you keep sharing with us, and for being on the other end of the call every time I need anything.
Anytime, Sabah. Anytime. All right.